Welcome to rpgamepire. I'm David.
I'm Julie.
So now we're going to do the review of Mythic Battles Pantheon 1.5 edition. And so hopefully you've seen the unboxing of this. We also did a playthrough and a how to play video.
Yes, we
did.
And
the good news is that we're going to play all 6 of the campaign here that can be played cooperatively.
My favorite way.
And so that's for those of you who have the compendium. I'll show you where it is in the book here. So we're going to play all 6 of these scenarios here for the campaign, and then we'll be doing another review of that. But right now we're just going to be doing a review of the introductory scenario because we played it about 4 times. So keep that in mind. And I played it about a year ago with my boys.
Yeah, you did.
So it's just based on just that. We haven't opened up the Pandora's box or the other expansions, which we can do later on if we get enough likes and interest in these videos. We'll do more videos about that, but we are committed to doing the campaign and a future review of that. But,
definitely.
So here we go.
Okay.
Let's do the overview first.
Alrighty.
It's a strategy game, 2 to 4 players, and that's on Board Game Geek. It's really 1 to 4 players because you could play that campaign solo. Playing time 60 to 90 minutes, ages 14 and up. Now, that's debatable if it's 14 and up, because some of the artwork does show female anatomy.
Oh, so it's a little racy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's PG-13 in the theater. Because it's art. You know, it's art.
Yeah.
But if you don't like, but then it's Greek art, and you know, the point is, there's some of the art is definitely exploitive, and some of it is more like art history type art.
Right.
So there's kind of a mixed bag. So if you don't like the fact that it could be considered exploitive, then yeah, you might even want to say it's 17 and up.
Well, I think it just depends on how comfortable you are with that.
Right.
You know, look at it first before you play it with your kid.
Right. But anyway, that's the only time I've ever had to stop the overview to explain the game.
Yeah, it is.
So definitely a lot of mechanics here. Area movement. It's a campaign battle card driven, card drafting. Cooperative play, dice rolling, hand management, player elimination, variable player powers, and unlike the playthrough video, it's published by Monolith. When it originally came out, it was a combination of Mythic Games and Monolith. Mythic Games went on to publish Joan of Arc.
Okay.
Monolith stayed publishing this. So the 1.5 is just published by Monolith now.
Okay.
So for those of you who have seen our reviews before, Julie comes up with her list separately, then I do my list. We don't confer with each other.
Nope.
I know what she puts in. She tells me she puts in her stuff in the computer without looking at mine, but I do kind of see hers, but she doesn't see mine. But the point is, we don't know what each other's going to say at first. All right, so here you go, Julie.
All right, David. I think the miniatures are really interesting. I think they're very cool. They're very thematic. If you've watched the playthrough, you'll see that every time I play Achilles, I call him Brad Pitt. Because, come on now, who didn't see Troy and know he was Brad Pitt?
Well, not everybody's seen that movie. And by the way, if you're going to see Troy, see the director's edition. Much better.
Oh, all I know is it's a really great movie.
Well, that's the one you saw.
Yes. I think the theme's very interesting. I'm not real well versed on it all, so I found it really fun to play something I didn't know much about.
Well, you are part Greek.
I am part Greek.
Yes.
It is intense because it's a race game type of thing, so you're trying to hurry up and get to something, and it can be just very stressful.
Trying to get to the Divine Stones, right?
Yes. It is hard to learn the combat with the dice and juggling the talents and the powers. Again, if you watch the playthrough, you'll see that I forgot like some of my powers that I had.
And that's okay. So it is it will tax working memory. To remember everything, all the steps, unless you play the game a lot. And then it is taxing on short-term memory because you can read the player's aid and go and think, okay, I got that.
Right.
And then 2 rounds later, like, what was that again?
Yeah.
But that's working memory, short-term memory. So it is, unless you play it a lot, it will be taxing.
It is, and it's very tiring.
Yeah, more for you, but then for me, I got to try to remember everything myself here.
And he also has to remember not only his stuff, but my stuff.
Right.
So that kind of makes it hard on both of us. And just for me, I found it to be too long. I get very tired after a certain amount of time playing a game, and when it's this stressful and it's so much on my brain, having to work so hard, it's very tiring for me. So I was very glad when it was over. I don't know if I'll be playing this a lot.
Yeah, but you won, though.
I did, but again, David helps me decide, reminds me of how to play my characters better.
That's
so
okay.
it really wasn't a fair
I don't mind
win.
doing that.
Well, thank
All right,
you.
so here's my ratings. Yeah, the miniatures and art is top notch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if I know that there's people that have already painted their miniatures, I wish I had time to do that because maybe when I retire, maybe I'll have time.
Yeah.
But right now, I do not.
No, you don't.
But someday I might. But anyways, yeah, this is definitely not a lot of detail here that you can load paint up on. I don't know how a miniature person would rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, but I bet you it's close to the 8, 9, 10 area, based on what I've seen of other games. Okay, so tactical tension, meaning that it's definitely a game where you really got to think carefully about the order that you do things in, and using your resources with your activation cards, and playing the odds of what you're going to draw, and gambling, so to speak, taking risks as to if I do this now, will it pay off? Do I risk that? So again, very rewarding with regard to that for those who like a lot of tactics involved. So thematically, it's cool. I like the Greek theme. In terms of miniature games, my boys and I, they grew up playing Star Wars miniatures when they were 5 and 7 when we went to Gen Con SoCal. I think it was the second show that they did. I exhibited there at the first show when I had a game company. The second show I remember we went to Disneyland when I was working for that magazine back then.
Yeah, way back then.
So that's when Wizards of the Coast would give out miniatures. And that's when they got into it because you would. Some people might remember those shows. You would roll the die 20 and you can get free things, and the boys got those.
They did.
So they grew up playing Star Wars miniatures. So I compare this to Star Wars miniatures, which thematically I'm a first generation Star Wars fan since I was 7. So when I look at a game like this, I'm thinking, how close is it to one of my favorite games of all time, Star Wars miniatures? And tactically, it's just as rewarding as Star Wars miniatures.
Well, that's good.
Now, will the scenarios keep me as interested, the variability? Because in Star Wars, I can recreate certain things. Now, this, you can recreate certain movies, and maybe there'll be some fan stuff like recreating Troy, or the Hercules movies, or the old claymation ones. What were the Jason and the Argonauts and things like that, or the Clash of the Titans and Wrath of the Titans, those movies. So you can definitely do that.
Sure.
Okay, so effort to play correctly as a neutral. It does require more effort than other miniatures games I've played because it's so, if you do it right, it's balanced. If you forget to do certain things, you can screw up. Like, for instance, we forgot in the playthrough that you could not do a retaliation against a ranged attack, so we messed that up.
Yeah.
I would have been in the game a little bit longer. Now, Julie probably would have won anyway, but she would not have thrown my Hydra. Remember when that happened? You weren't supposed to get a mighty throw against a range. No, you don't get initiative against a ranged attack.
Oh.
And therefore, since you don't get retaliation against a ranged attack and initiative, you wouldn't be able to throw me.
Okay.
So, again, that's effort to play correctly.
Yeah.
It just takes more repetitions to put it in your memory. And then if you put it away for a while, we will remember it, and then you're going to have to relearn it again.
Exactly.
Okay. So that gets to my last point. A negative is that it really needs an appendix with more explanations and more examples. So that way you can, it requires a little bit more effort to juggle through the rule book because things are placed in, I mean, you can get through it as an experienced gamer, okay? The way it's organized, you can get through this, but then when it comes to referencing it, you got to be like, okay, where's that at again? I mean, you'll find it, and the index sometimes has some key words that are like, oh, you got to think of a synonym for that. So again, the rules, you can get through it if you're an experienced gamer. But what would make it a lot easier is if it had an appendix where I didn't have to go to Board Game Geek to find out rules, or if there was more examples to say, am I really playing this correctly?
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I agree.
Still works fine without it, but you still, when you're an experienced gamer, you're still wondering, am I doing this right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's a negative. So let's
see.
take a look at how we rated on the Board Game Geek 1 through 10 scale.
Okay. I don't think we're the same.
No,
we're not even close.
No, that's fine though. It's nice to see that you're a 6. And explain why you rated a 6.
As I said, what I liked and didn't like is that it's a long game. It's very taxing on my brain. So it's not something I'm going to suggest, say, hey, let's go play this game, because truthfully, I'm not going to want to play a long game at all.
Yeah.
But, you know, if David really wanted to play it and I was feeling pretty spunky that day, I would play it. But if he caught me at 8 o'clock at night and said, hey, let's play this, I'd be like, yeah, no, not so much. So that's why I rated it an okay.
Well, but again, we'll take a look at it. You might like it better when it's a campaign.
And I might, and maybe when we're playing it as a team,
right.
I'll like it better.
Now, for me, I rated a 7 right now because I need more plays to see if it will move up to an 8, 9, or 10. I am usually willing to play this. It's not as high as my all-time favorite miniature game, Star Wars Miniature by Wizards of the Coast, because, again, I have nostalgia for the original movies and playing with my sons. So this is definitely a solid miniature game. And, again, you didn't grow up with games like this.
Nope.
And so it's great that you want to play them.
Well, yeah, it's fun to try something new and see if I like it or don't like it.
But hey, at least it's not a 5 through 1, right? You didn't say it was mediocre.
That's true. Oh yeah, no. I 6 was like the perfect level for me to be at.
So, gee, I just forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's not your fault. My brain's tired from playing the game.
My eyes are bloodshot from playing the game.
Geez, I can't remember now. All I know is that I appreciate that you're willing to play it.
You're welcome.
That it should, if we play it more, it might move up. Again, we got to play more scenarios. We haven't even opened up the other boxes yet. I mean, you can play the core game right now and get a lot of value out of it. So look, we will be playing more scenarios as you go along. Geez, I guess that's it. As I was going to say, I couldn't remember what I was going to say. So
sounds good enough to me.
now I'm just rambling. And you're getting tired.
I think that means it's time for us to say thank you so much for watching rpgamepire. I'm Julie.
And this is David.
Thanks again.
And please remember to subscribe and like. Have a good day.
Take care.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye-bye.